All right, thank you guys. Welcome to our Major League Baseball video here today for Sunday, May 23rd. My name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you want to see which one of these YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally here today, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. Now we are currently 2-0 in our last couple of $1.99 daily best plays on my Patreon page. And if you want to access today's daily best play, it's only going to cost you just $1.99. We're also hitting at 70% in our last 10 $1.99 daily best plays in that very same category. We currently have over 1,225 members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that page is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And of course, I was busy with the other sports this morning, so we're kind of cutting it close a little bit. So with that in mind, we're going to start off with the 2 o'clock slate. So let's go ahead and break down the Tigers taking on the Royals, 2:10 Eastern start time. The Kansas City Royals are -150, totals 9, juice to the under. Chris Bubich for the Royals, Casey Mize for Detroit. Now Mize comes into today's start with a 3.69 ERA and a 1.19 whip. The righties also struck out 34 batters. Now Detroit's won 4 out of their last 5 ball games, and they also went 7-3 straight up in their last 10. They're taking on a Kansas City squad who's got a losing record on their home field. The Royals have won just 11 of 24 at Kauffman Stadium. They've successfully cashed in on the run line in just 45% of those home games. And despite some real good stuff out of Chris Bubich this season, he's still yet to get his first win through nearly 19 innings pitched. Now, total-wise, Kansas City's 15-9 to the over on their home field. Detroit's 13-11 to the over when they bat first. I'm going to lean toward the Detroit Tigers +1.5 and the over 9 runs. Next game, Astros Rangers, 2:35 Eastern first pitch. The Houston Astros are -165, totals 9. Christian Javier for the Astros, Mike Foltynewicz for Texas. Now Folty's just 1-4 on the season, 5.18 ERA, 1.42 WHIP. I don't know how he's still in the majors. But anyway, the Rangers are currently 6 games below 500 right now, and they've also lost 7 out of their last 10. Now, this Texas pitching staff is in the bottom 3 in home strikeouts. Meanwhile, offensively, the Rangers are averaging just 3.8 runs a game at Globe Life Field. They're taking on a Houston club who won 7 out of their last 10 ball games themselves. The Astros are currently 6 games above 500, and they're leading the big leagues in scoring. Yuli Gurriel is batting .325 with 22 extra base hits and 38 RBI. And believe it or not, Gurriel is currently tied for second in the bigs in runs batted in. Meanwhile, Kyle Tucker's hit 10 home runs and knocked in 28 himself. And even if for some reason this Astros lineup struggles here today, they've still got a really good one on the bump here today in Christian Javier. He's actually struck out 53 batters in just 44 innings of work. Now the righty's 3-1 on the year with a 3.27 ERA and a .98 WHIP. And when it comes to the total on this one, 4 out of Texas's last 7 ball game, 4 out of their last 7 stayed under the total of 9 runs. The Rangers are officially 15-10 to the under as the home team. I'm going to lean toward the Texas Rangers. Are we? No, we're not. Not the Texas Rangers. Houston Astros -1.5 and the under 9 runs. Next game here, D-backs versus the Rockies, 3:10 Eastern start time. The Colorado Rockies are -135, totals 12, juice to the under. John Gray for the Rockies, Tyler Widener for Arizona. Now the D-backs are on a 7-game losing streak, just 1-10 straight up in their last 11. Arizona's also been terrible on the road this year. Winners of just 9 out of 29 road games, last in the league in hits allowed per contest. They're taking on a Colorado team who's in the top 3 in home scoring. Ryan McMahon's hit 11 homers and knocked in 29. The second baseman also has 21 extra base hits on the year. Meanwhile, C.J. Cron has hit 5 home runs and bats .306. The Rockies are currently 15-12 straight up at Coors Field, and they rank in the top 5 in the game in home hits. Now, total-wise, I'm just not so sure Arizona's hitting well enough to help put this one over. Plus, they're currently 17-12 to the under as the road team. I'm going to lean toward the Colorado Rockies -135 and the under 12 runs. Next game, Dodgers-Giants, 4:05 Eastern Standard Time. The LA Dodgers are -145, total 7.5. Julio Urias for Los Angeles, Anthony DeSclafani for San Francisco. Now, DeSclafani's 4-1 on the season with a 2.03 ERA and a .92 WHIP. The Giants are currently 14-6 straight up at Oracle Park this year, and they successfully cashed in on the run line in 60% of their home games. Now, the San Francisco pitching staff is giving up just 3.1 runs per contest as the home team. They're taking on a Dodger club who plays just .500 baseball on the road, despite their current win streak. And if you're looking into maybe catching some more value on the run line with Los Angeles, just keep in mind they're cashing in on the run line in just 37% of their road games. Now, total-wise, 6 out of LA's last 8 ball games stayed under the total of 7.5 runs. 6 out of their last 10 meetings with San Francisco also stayed under the line. Meanwhile, the Giants are 11-9 to the under on their home field. I'm going to lean toward the San Francisco Giants +1.5 and the under 7.5 runs. Next ball game, A's Angels, 4:07 Eastern first pitch. Oakland's -115, totals 8.5. Sean Manaea for Oakland, Dylan Bundy for Los Angeles. Now, Bundy's 0-5 with a 6.02 ERA and a dozen walks already. Mike Trout still out of the lineup for Los Angeles. Stassi still on the IL as well. The Angels are currently 8 games below .500, and they find themselves in last place in the AL West. They've also struggled on their home field, winning just 10 of 24 games at Angel Stadium. They're taking on an Oakland club who's in first place in the very same division. The A's have also been pretty outstanding in their road games this year, going 14-6 straight up when they bat first. Their pitching staff allows just 3.5 runs per contest when they travel as well. Sean Manaea struck out 48 batters in just 49 innings of work. He's currently 3-2 thus far in the season. And when it comes to the total in this one, 7 out of Oakland's last 9 ball games got over the total of 8.5 runs. Meanwhile, the Angels have gone 16-8 to the over as the home team, 27-19 to the over for the entire season. I'm going to lean toward the Oakland A's -115 and the over 8.5. Next contest, Mariners Padres, 4:10 p.m. East. The San Diego Padres are -270, total 7 flat. Yu Darvish for San Diego, Justin Dunn for Seattle. Now, Dunn's just 1-2 on the season, and he's had significant control issues. He's walked 22 batters already in just over 34 innings of work. The Seattle pitching staff is also in the bottom 3 in road runs allowed, and they're dead last in road strikeouts. Seattle's also won just 9 out of 22 road games. They're taking on a Padres club who's gone 17-10 at Petco Park, and they currently find themselves in first place in the NL West. Now, this Padres pitching staff strike out more batters than any other team in the game. They also allow the fewest runs out of any other team in the majors as well. Yu Darvish is 4-1 with a 1.81 ERA and a .88 WHIP. The righty struck out 69 batters in just over 54 innings pitched. Now, total-wise, this Seattle pitching staff does tend to get a bit rattled on the road. The Mariners have also gone 15-7 to the over as the road team. I'm going to lean toward the San Diego Padres -1.5 and the over 7 runs. And with that, guys, now we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Cubs versus the Cards, 7:08 Eastern start time. The St. Louis Cardinals are -$1.35, totals 8.5. Adam Wainwright for St. Louis, Zach Davies for Chicago. Now, Davies is just 2-2 with a 5.58 ERA and a 1.76 WHIP. He's also walked 22 batters compared to just 23 strikeouts. And despite their recent success, the Cubs have been pretty bad on the road this season. They've gotten the W in just 7 of 20 road games, and their pitching staff is in the bottom 3 in hits allowed as the away team. They're taking on a first-place St. Louis club, who's, they're first place in the NL Central, and they've won 3 out of their last 4 ball games. Now, the Cards have played quite well at Busch Stadium this season. They're 15-9 straight up as the home team, and they're in the top 10 in home hits allowed. Now, Adam Wainwright, he struck out 44 batters in just over 46 innings of work. And when it comes to the total in this one, 7 out of St. Louis's last 10 meetings with Chicago stayed under the line. The Cards are also 15-9 to the under at Busch Stadium. Meanwhile, the Cubbies are currently 26-19 to the under for the entire year. I'm going to lean toward the St. Louis Cardinals minus 135 and the under 8.5 runs. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap, powered to you by my Patreon website. I like Detroit plus 1.5 over 9 runs. Houston minus 1.5 under 9. Colorado minus 135 under 12 runs. San Francisco plus 1.5 under 7.5. Oakland minus $1.15 over 8.5 runs. San Diego minus 1.5 over 7. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 2-0 in our last 2 $1.99 daily best plays on my Patreon website. We're also hitting at 70% in our last 10 $1.99 daily best plays in that very same category. I'm going to lean toward the St. Louis Cardinals minus 135 and the under 8.5 runs. With that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys do end up getting a package here today, just keep in mind Patreon's going to bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Sunday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/rockpage.